Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 10 fragrances from my collection that are chic, easy to wear, but still have an elegant sophistication to them. They're musky, they're soft, they're sweet, they're powdery, and this is how I've been super obsessed with smelling the past few months. So I wanted to share these fragrances with you. So let's get into the video. I literally filmed this video today like 3 times and I realized that I talk forever each time I share the scents. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little description about what I mean when I say this. That way, if you don't like the idea of any of this, you don't have to sit through a video. First, there will be powders in this. When I think of chic fragrances, I do think of a primary powdery base. You get it from iris, if you get it from some nice tonka, if you get it from a nice combination of a variety of different things, I do like a nice powdery fragrance. And I think in my definition, in my head, my opinion of a chic scent, it does have to have a bit of powder to it. It also has to have a bit of sweetness and muskiness to it. I want it to smell slightly cozy. Maybe like a very expensive fabric, silk, wool, cashmere, something that if you put it on, you just feel really nice, like you're treating yourself to something. So to me, that's a chic, elegant scent that can evoke those feelings of coziness, but also an elevated experience of luxury. But it also kind of has to smell a little bit like what I think a skin scent would be. So it does have to have a little bit of sweet saltiness to it, which I enjoy, and a little bit of powder too. And I do like a light marshmallowy muskiness. Now, some of these fragrances definitely have that. Some of them might be a little bit more gourmand, some of them might be a little bit more warm, some of them might be expensive, some of them might be affordable. I do have one fragrance, however, that I chose that I think is the best example of everything, and I will show that that fragrance at the very end of this video. But I did choose 10 fragrances from a variety of different price points from my collection that I think are chic and elegant fragrances that if you're looking for scents that are slightly sweet, that are just really beautiful and soft and easy to wear, but still have that touch of something special to them, these definitely have them. So why I wanted to talk about that first is because a lot of these fragrances are going to have not the same composition or the same notes, but it's going to sound like I'm saying the same. So if you want to know my real thoughts about longevity and how these fragrances smell, I have I have lots of reviews of most of these fragrances, so I will link them below. But I will give you a basic rundown of how they smell and why I chose them. The first one is the most inexpensive fragrance, and I think is great if you're trying to find a fragrance that fits this description on a budget, and it's Amande from Solo Notes. Now, the reason why I like this fragrance is that it really gets its softness from tonka, and I love how that just smells on the skin, but the almond in here is really beautiful. Now, Solo Notes, in my opinion, is stronger as a brand when they focus more on less of an inspired fragrance and more of an experience of, does it smell like jasmine? Does it smell like yuzu? Does it smell like orange? Does it smell like lemon? Does it smell like freesia? Does it smell like anything else? But sometimes they have more inspired fragrances. So that's what almond is. This doesn't smell like almond, but it does smell like a fragrance that has a nice, beautiful, delicious almond heart that has some other things going for it, which adds a nice softness to it, which I think is really beautiful. In my personal opinion, I think whipped almond from Mix Bar could also fit in this category too. And I think both versions, the body mists are better than the perfumes or the eau de parfum versions. But I think that if I think about the softer, cozier fragrance, this one slightly beats out whipped almond from Mix Bar. And for about 20 bucks, you can't beat this, and you can try it out at Target. I think that they have samples of it or testers out. But it's a great example of what I'm talking about at a price point that is very accessible. Now, another one that is a little bit more accessibly priced, but still a little pricey. It's not too bad. It's not overpriced. Definitely not overpriced. We have Bliss from Perfumology. Now, I like this one. This one definitely has a beautiful floral heart. and I find that to be a little bit more romantic and makes it a little bit more nighttime, a little bit more sultry, and in my opinion makes it a little bit more sophisticated. But there's just something about this that's very romantic and very beautiful, and it just has that sweetness that I'm looking for when I'm looking for chic fragrances. It doesn't have as much of a powder as more of the sweetness that these types of chic, sophisticated, you know, me saying the same buzzwords over and over and over like a broken record, I can't even say that word. It's a broken record. But when it comes down to the composition of how this smells as a floral fragrance, it does have the softness to it, it does have the roundness to it, it does have the sweetness to it, and it does have something to it that doesn't quite smell like it's too sharp, it doesn't smell like it's too cold, it doesn't smell like it's too bright, it doesn't smell like it's too green. There's something about this that's very cozy, very romantic, and very transportive, and I think it's just absolutely beautiful. I had to think of the more gourmand heavy fragrances in my collection. I have two, and these are on the more pricey side. I have Sublime Vanille from Creed, and I have Ambrosia from Royal Crown. Now, vanilla is definitely one of these notes that can easily just fit, but sometimes vanillas can be more frosting and can be very youthful and sweet and floral, and gourmand vanillas are excellent. Don't get me wrong, I love them. But there is more of a soft, sensual, almost androgyny to Sublime Vanille, and there's a little tiny bit of citrus in there, which gives it a tiny bit of brightness, but doesn't make it fresh, that I think works and makes this smell like almost exactly what I'm talking about from a more gourmand element. Now, if we're talking about a gourmand fragrance that has the beautiful soft powders and musk, Ambrosia from Royal Crown is a great example. Now, this fragrance starts off very fruity. There's a big old spotlight on the date and the plum and the apple specifically isn't like a tart, crisp like Granny Smith. It's more of a warm, I would say, like Fuji apple or Fiji apple. There we go. I still can't say words. You know, you like bite into apples and some of them have like a softer body, and then some of them are a little bit crisper and firmer. The softer body ones, sometimes they taste warmer and not so tart. They taste a little bit sweeter. That's the apple in this. But what I like is that there is lots of beautiful woods in here, but a rose iris in the heart of this that is there from beginning to end. And it gives a soft, very sensual, very cozy, sophisticated, just core to this fragrance that is there from start to finish. And definitely at the finish, it's a little bit more on the mature side, but what it does is it makes it smell very sophisticated and very chic for a honey, floral, fruity fragrance, and elevates it into something special and expensive smelling, and it better dang well smell expensive for a $400 bottle of perfume, but it does so very beautifully. Now, I did say with this fragrance, this is meticulously balanced. There is little room for error. So if you have an issue with any of these notes, you would probably not like this fragrance. It might smell not so expensive, or the black pepper might make it smell a little bit too jarring. So definitely try before you buy with anything, even the $20 bottle of perfume. But if this works on your skin, this is absolutely beautiful and something very chic and gorgeous, especially for the gourmand lovers out there. Either of these work well. These are kind of what I would consider my dumb grabs for these more cozy fragrances, these more soft, musky fragrances. They're very beautiful, and I found that I love these both equally. And we have Saint Honoraire, and from Nino Amadio we have Ombre. Both of these are gorgeous. They are not the same. They're not the same. I find this one to be a little bit more sweet and this one to be a little bit more resinous and warm. But both of these, in my opinion, are kind of more considered the dumb grabs of this list. If you like the idea of ready-to-wear chic fragrances, something you can just spritz on and walk out and just smell really gorgeous, cozy, mature, and just elegant and soft and sweet, either one of these would work really, really well, and none of them would be super expensive. They're not cheap, but they're not like Royal Crown Creed prices. And I've loved them both so much. They're really, really good. I have 4 more to share with you, and these 4, in each of their different ways, are very special and fit perfectly. So the first one I want to talk about is Mamasi Into Me. And I really, and I mean really, love this fragrance. I like its sophistication. I like its elegance. I like its accessibility in regards to that it doesn't smell hard to wear, but it does have that soft, powdery, floral, fruity elegance to it. And it smells very much like accessible but special. And I know a lot of people don't like the idea of smelling powdery. I know a lot of people don't like smelling mature. I know a lot of people don't like smelling youthful. There's something about this fragrance that I think if you had issues with any of that, you wouldn't have issues with this. It smells just really beautiful on the skin, and it encapsulates a luxury that's also very accessible and easy to wear. I like that it does have a soft, cozy, sensual kind of body to it, but you get these florals and you get the fruits, and it's just really beautiful and very special. But at the same time, it's not something that's like a stale makeup powder or the types of fruits you'd smell in fragrances marketed, you know, to high schoolers, or the type of composition that maybe is a little bit too intimidating for people that prefer maybe more of a youthful composition. It smells very just timeless and easy, but there is a little bit of a playful flirtiness with this fragrance as well. And so I think this is something very special and a little bit different to be a part of this list. I wanted to include something that wasn't just like iris and vanilla and almond and musk and a little bit of sandalwood, and maybe there's some tonka in there. I thought that this would be worth sharing because I think it's a little bit more special than some of the others, and at the same time isn't the most expensive fragrance on this list, and also smells really, really nice. I really enjoy this one a lot. We're up to the top 3, and I'm going to share these 2 because kind of like the dumb grabs, these are like luxury splurges. These, in my opinion, are just fantastic. And they are expensive, and in my opinion, they're worth it. Just because I think it doesn't mean that you guys will agree. So the first one we have is from Atelier d'Ors, and it's Iris Fauve. This just smells like a sexy sweater, a cozy sweater, an expensive sweater, like $1,000 sweater. You know, one of those sweaters that are just gorgeous, and it's just resinous and soft and sweet and beautiful. And this is just like, I don't want to get too much into it because like I said, if I talk about, it's me saying the same words. It's just the same. There's no point in making this video long. However, I want to talk about Polonia from Xerjoff. This one I think is a little bit more special because that carrot note in here, I think elevates the iris a little bit and makes it smell a little bit more special. I like when carrot and iris go together. It's like when iris and rose goes together, or how vanilla and amber work really well together, or how sandalwood can go with anything. You know, it's just something really beautiful and special when Xerjoff does it. I find it to be just so fantastic. And it's gorgeous in this scent, but this fragrance also has a coolness to it that I really enjoy. And there's just something about this, aside from the other kind of more dominant iris fragrances in the Xerjoff line, I find this to be a little bit more ethereal. And that's kind of like what I'm looking for in these more softer, sweeter, chicer fragrances, is there has to be something about it that makes it lighter and fresher. It's not that this is a lighter, fresher fragrances, but iris isn't a light, fresh fragrance. Ibitera, in my opinion, is definitely more of a mature fragrance. Pico Valladama is an indulgent fragrance. Lyra and Italica, those are definitely heavy, delicious, sexy gourmands. This kind of encapsulates that chic, sophisticated, mature, beautiful, luscious sensuality that I'm looking for, while still being something beautiful and easy to wear, and also dang expensive. But honestly, I do love this fragrance. It's one of my favorite bottles from Xerjoff, to be perfectly honest. I love it. And just the way this smells, There's something about it that works really well. And I know a lot of people are looking for a masculine iris dominant fragrance. This is a great one. This is actually, in my opinion, a really, really good one. If you're a guy out there or a girl out there and you prefer masculine leaning scents and you're looking for a iris dominant fragrance, I wouldn't say that this is super dominant, but the way that this fragrance is balanced is definitely a great iris scent that definitely leans more shared and less feminine. All of those fragrances are great, and I most definitely really kind of butchered how I was describing them. But you kind of see what I mean. There's a bit of warmth, there's some iris, there's something about it that's soft and sensual. You know, they're cozy, they're sexy, there's mature. They're not just, you know, like, blah. There's something about them that makes them special, from the inexpensive ones to the way expensive ones. The one that I think is the best though isn't cheap, but it's not overpriced, and you can find it super cheap at great markets. And it is, that is right, Claire de Musc from Salutations. This has got to be the exact definition of what I am talking about when I am talking about something chic and sophisticated and mature and just smelling like sexy skin and smelling beautiful and powdery and soft and a little bit sweet. This is the fragrance. This one right here. This one. Nothing better. The reason why is when you spray this on your skin, you're gonna get everything. You're gonna get a beautiful, slight sweetness. Just a little bit. It's not a gourmand sweetness. And I like the gourmand sweetnesses. That's why I had some gourmand fragrances in here for you. But what those do is it waters down the idea of like something chic and light and skin scenty. You know, skin scenty, because that's a word. And then you have the more mature fragrances, you know, or the more luxurious ones that are a little bit more heavy and indulgent, or the dumb crabs. Every other fragrance in here had something that watered down the experience of what this is. And what this is in my opinion, is something effortless. There wasn't much that had to be added to make this perfect in regards to that soft, sensual, light, billowy, effervescent, powdery, sweet, light experience that just smells elegant and timeless and sophisticated and easy. And Claire de Musc is that fragrance. It's that fragrance. It has it. It has that soft amount of powder at just the right amount that just smells like you're powdery and soft and romantic. Not too much where it smells stale, but there's just enough where it doesn't get lost. It's definitely a key component in the composition or in the formula. The musks in here are light and slightly watery, but still very effervescent and present on the skin. And there's just the right amount of florals and saltiness and sweetness and the other notes in here and brightness, but doesn't make this fresh. And I love that. And there's just something so chic about this fragrance. So if I were to describe this fragrance as a piece of clothing that I don't own, it would be like, let's say, a cashmere turtleneck sweater that was the perfect shade of cream that fit you like a glove. That's what this would be, you know. It's just, you put it on and you just feel like it doesn't matter what else I do. If I just put my hair up in a ponytail, or if you have a shorter do, maybe you just kind of put a little bit of wax or gel in your hair and put it back. You don't have to do much to look perfect when you wear this. You don't have to do much to smell perfect. This just smells easy but elegant and just, again, like you're not trying too hard. And that's just something that I love about this fragrance. I haven't reviewed this yet. And there's a reason why I haven't reviewed this yet, because I'm spending a lot of time with this fragrance. Because when I review this fragrance, it's going to be one of those long reviews. You know, those reviews where I talk for like 25, 30 minutes. Because some fragrances I find to be so vastly underappreciated that I think deserve so much more attention, and this is one of them. And this fragrance to me is just so effortless. So when I think of that description in the beginning, something chic and elegant. We're going back to all those buzzwords that I said before. Chic and elegant and mature and ageless and timeless and androgynous and soft and sophisticated and beautiful and easy but still well put together. And it doesn't smell like a lot of effort was put into it, but you look at it and you're like, it's well put together and just there you go. You look amazing. You smell amazing when you wear this. And I think it is one of the most underappreciated fragrances from the House of Salutations. It is gorgeous and I love it. So this is my #1 pick. Now again, this is my opinion and I'm not really known well for my taste, especially when it comes to fashion, but I can tell you that this is a great fragrance and I will stand by that. So these are my picks for, I'm not going to go into the same list. You read the title, you know, I've said it so much. But I did want to share these with you because this is how I've really been enjoying smelling, especially this spring. Spring has been both hot and cold in Florida, and I think smelling like something fresh and kind of more clean skin-like and sophisticated and mature and soft and powdery and sweet, that's a way that you can smell cold and hot, dry and humid. It also works casual and formal. These are great scents that you can invest in your fragrance rotation that are very versatile as well. So I wanted to share these with you. So I would love to know if you guys like this list. Do you agree with my fragrances? Do you disagree? Or do you have any other fragrances you'd like to add as well to this? Any other soft, chic, skin-like scents? Or what does skin scents mean to you? What do chic fragrances mean to you? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.